Fine Church, welcome to this week's Pick Me Up. Something happened on the Damascus Road. Not completely sure what. Oh yeah, we know the Cliff Notes. Some of the details. Read Acts chapter 9 for yourself. Paul traveling with companions hears the voice of Jesus, is blinded by a light, literally blinded, and then 3 days or so, no eating or drinking, just sitting there in darkness until God sends an early follower of Christ, a man by the name of Ananias, who lays hands on Paul, and it says something like scales falls from Paul's eyes. What does that mean? No idea. We're not told all the details with that health development. There are a lot of scholars, Bible readers, who have pieced things together over the years in the New Testament and said maybe, just maybe, there were some lasting effects on Paul's eyes from this blinding moment on the Damascus Road, even though it tells us that he was able to see. We're not sure exactly how well. One of those places appears in Galatians chapter 4, and we've been studying that together as a church family. Paul takes a detour when he reminds the Galatians why he first came to Galatia. He says he was sick. There are some scholars who believe it was malaria because of the low-lying area there at the basin of the Mediterranean. Lots of mosquitoes. The only answer to that at that time was to go to the highlands, and Galatia would have been in the highlands, and so it appears that maybe he showed up sick with something like malaria, and that the church there nursed him back to health. In reference to that little historical detour with the Galatian church, that personal note, Paul says, if you could have torn out your eyes and given them to me, you would have. Why would he need new eyes unless there is some issue with his eyes? Many people have noted. It's also interesting that in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, he tells the church there that he's got this thorn in the flesh. It's some reference to a physical ailment that's preventing him from being fully himself. So much so that he's asked God 3 times to take it away, and God just hasn't done it. Interesting, right? All of this is inference. All of this is a guess. We don't really know. We're not told specifically. But let's pretend for a moment that there is some physical issue with Paul. Let's pretend that the thorn in the flesh is his eyes. I don't think it's a stretch. But let's just give that to the discussion for a moment. If that's the case, it is interesting that he prays to God for this to be taken away. It is not taken away. And to that, I would tell you, there's probably a lesson. Meaning that whether it's an emotional challenge, a mental disorder, a physical ailment, a health crisis, we're not promised that there won't be these type of physical challenges in the flesh. And some of us will not have them taken away, whether by the hands and feet of Jesus and a doctor or Jesus himself. And so, what do? I love what he says in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, when Paul, in reference to this thorn in the flesh remaining in his body, this challenge physically before him, he says, my strength is made complete in weakness. Speaking from the viewpoint of God, that God is saying to him, my strength is made complete in your weakness. Let me say that again. God's strength is shown off, is fulfilled in our weakness, whether that be emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. God tends to pick the broken, the weak, infirmed, those that are in need, to show off his greatness in this world. I don't know if you woke up today with your own thorn in the flesh, your own challenge, or it just felt a little creaky getting out of bed now that you're in your 40s or 50s or whatever it is. Somehow, just know that God tends to work through those who realize their need. Something about our need draws us to a place of dependence upon him. And so I guess for today, all of this inference and these side notes that come from the scripture, I guess if there's anything, it would be, may God's strength be shown off in your weakness today, whatever that is. And may his mission and his name be glorified in the world, even through you, a broken vessel. That's as far as we can go for today. Love you. Mean it.